You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Let's get spooky. You found Earth Station Boo, where horror lives, legends linger, and laughs are always waiting. Stay with us. You know you're dying to listen. And welcome to the Spooky and Kooky podcast of Earth Station Boo, where we talk all things horror. Here are your horrorholic hosts. We have our kick-ass Karen.
What up, my horrorholics?
I am your terrifying T. And we are talking about Eli Roth's 2013 love letter to Italian cannibal horror, The Green Inferno. So, let's get spooky. Are you a horrorholic? Then take your horror obsession beyond the podcast. Check out Earth Station Boo's merch store for killer designs to let the world know that you live for the scares. You can also join our Discord and hang out with fellow little ghouls, talk monsters, movies, and midnight madness. And if you want to support the show directly, visit our throne to keep the screams and laughs coming. Find everything in our link tree, and remember, stay spooky.
Ever wondered what the universe tastes like?
Or why your best ideas hit at 2 a.m. over a slice of pizza?
Welcome to the Cosmic Pizza Podcast, where science, pop culture, and curiosity collide.
4 co-hosts, 4 perspectives, and 0 boring conversations.
We explore everything from sci-fi TV shows to films from each decade.
From conspiracy theories to our favorite foods.
It's deep, it's weird,
and it's seriously fun.
New episodes every month.
So grab a slice,
kick back,
expand your mind with the Cosmic Pizza Podcast.
All right, so we have done Cannibal Holocaust, which this is a massive love letter to. This was I want to say that they named this film after the director of Cannibal Holocaust when this was in pre-production. So we will be discussing that part of it all. But Green Inferno, Eli Roth, let's dive into it. What were your expectations, and did the film deliver?
I mean, Eli Roth could be a hit or miss depending on, what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of went in with a meh expectation. And then I was like, when I saw it, I was like, that's actually pretty good. I actually like, what happened in the movie. And for, with a budget of $5 million, it actually, pulled it off really well, especially with his practical effects. So I was like, good job, Eli.
Where does this sit for you? Is it like a genre horror? Is it torture porn? Do you think it has the social satire that it was supposed to be based off of? Or do you think it might actually be a combination of the three?
It's like a combo. I mean, you have your social satire with the activists and whatnot, and what it says about big companies, getting PR and whatnot.
Yeah.
Or they pay different, pay actors to act like activists, and then the little torture porn. I mean, there's not that much torture going on, but there is a lot that could happen with the different scenes, the different, deaths and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And it is also genuine horror, because I'm like, number one, why would I go somewhere that's kind of sketchy? You're not telling me all the information, okay?
Yeah.
Well, when I get there, you tell me all the information? No. That's a genuine fear for me. And the fact that, I'm going on the small little Cessna plane with some random people that I don't know. Yeah, it's just, it's horror, it's torture, and it's satire all in one.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you know what? I'm like, why are you going with these people who you don't know half of them? Okay, They say you can go into the jungle. Why? Well, I know you want to be an activist, but ask questions.
Yeah,
are we gonna be the only ones there? Or
the lack of questions? Yeah, the lack of questions was concerning.
It was always concerning. I was like, what the hell? Ask questions.
Right?
Are we getting weapons? Will they have weapons?
Mm-hmm. The first time I saw this, I didn't have any expectations because I hadn't seen Cannibal Holocaust yet. I just knew it was an Eli Roth film, and that was kind of about it. I had seen Cabin Fever, which is actually part of his torture, or was it Travel and Punishment series or whatever. But it was one of those deals of ooh, this looks like an interesting film. I'm kind of, I'm cool to see where it goes and see what, happens with it. Looks interesting. I liked it. I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. Nice delivery. Like, oh, there's Junie. So like there was just a lot that I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. But I definitely think it is a mixture of the three. It is definitely genre horror. Like, it is very much a type of subgenre of horror. It's Eli Roth. He's gonna have that shock exploitation, torture porn thing that runs through his stuff. But at the same time, it is social satire. Like it does cover stuff that I think still to this day, even though this came out over 10 years ago, I still think a lot of the performance activism that a lot of people portray, this was a prime example of that. And you could see it by how everybody kind of like got picked off from the trip.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Roth said that this was something of his mic drop moment as a director. Does the visual ambition of this film kind of reflect that confidence?
I mean, I would say, yeah. You had the beauty of the rainforest versus the beast of the developers, and then the cannibalism. And with how they used the practical effects, it was very well done. Like I'll have to make this confession. My niece watched it with me because she likes horror, and she was like, "That is amazing," and she was like, "I loved it." And then we got to the torture and eating of Jonah. She's like, "I don't think a body bleeds that much, does it?" I was like, "Well, not really, because he's dead and he shouldn't be pumping that much blood." And blood was squirting out of his neck, and I was like, "Wait a minute,
Yeah,
he dead."
Yeah,
but there was a lot of blood for one person. I mean, I was like, I know you're a big dude, but
yes, there would be a lot of blood. However, in that moment, not the way it was coming out.
Yeah, not the way it was coming out. Even she was kind of like, Auntie Karen. I was like, yeah.
Look at her.
I was like, yeah. It's like, we'll ignore that. And, all the other practical effects, she was like impressed with it.
Mm-hmm.
She enjoyed it. And is that one little plot that she was like, And I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was very ambitious. And I liked the whole beauty versus the beast, the beauty of the jungle. But within that jungle, you have that beast.
Yeah.
And it was very well done. I actually enjoyed it.
I think looking back at a lot of the films that I've watched of his, there's a lot that are they're an absolute joke. Like you look at it and you're like, dear sir, we know that this is a comedy. Like
yeah.
But I think this is one of his best works. I think this one kind of is like top tier. It showed the absolute respect for Italian cannibal movies, but then at the same time, it was completely his own. It was modern, and I think he also was able to make it timeless to a certain extent. Antonio, the cinematographer, had a lot of shots of the Amazon, and he made it so it was both beautiful and kind of menacing. And then there's also like that contrast between like the quote unquote clean modern world of like New York, where all these students came from, and like then like the raw primal world of the jungle. It's kind of stark. But how effective do you think that was for the film, using these locations almost as characters themselves and to help with that kind of contrast?
Well, because, with the different locations, you knew you were not going to be in Kansas anymore, because as someone who comes from a civilized society, you know how to understand it and appreciate it, and you know how it's lived. But now you're in something that's different, and you're like, oh shit, I don't know the language. I don't know the layout of the land.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And so that's a scary thought. Yeah, I'm here to protest. I'm here to make change, but I've never been here before. A bug bite could kill me.
Yeah.
And so there you have like that whole what if scenarios in your mind when you go from civilized to untamed.
Oh yeah.
And so it works effectively because you're put in a place that you don't know, and it makes you generally afraid of what could happen because you always have that what if.
Yeah.
And then some of your what ifs come true. Like poor little girl Amy, who has anxiety about flying in planes. She's like, sometimes I think about the plane will crash, and I just have to calm down, and the plane crashes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh damn, poor girl, shit, damn.
Right.
But the other what ifs, my what ifs, like I'm not gonna be eaten by like my what if wouldn't be cannibalism, a native tribe. That's not my what if. My what if is like, what if I get eaten by a leopard? What if I get eaten by tarantulas or snakes? That's my what if. And so yeah, you have these stark contrasts, and it makes it more horrific.
Yeah.
To a viewer.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, even the way that they did the coloring, like New York, yeah, it was clean, but it was gray and dull, and it was kind of monotone to a certain extent. And then you get to the jungle, and it's raw color. Like the greens are greens, the reds are reds. Like the colors really stand out, and I think that's amazing. I think they did a great job making it to where, like, the New York side of it, it was like, okay, obviously this is the foundation where we're getting a lot of need to know information, but you knew the second you were in the jungle, oh, this is where the action's happening. Like the colors drew you in, and I think that was a great use for storytelling. And I think the way that they let the jungle do its thing and was like there, I think was amazing.
I would have to say poor Lars.
Right?
Peeing. My niece was like, is that his penis? I was like, yeah. Is that a spider next to his penis? Yeah. Oh, this is going to be good. And it became good.
Gotta love the niece.
Yeah, she's, oh, this is going to be good. And it became good. It became funny. And I was like, it's just a spider.
Yeah.
She was like, and he's just a man who knows no better.
With a gun.
With a gun at that. I wouldn't have gave him a gun. I would just like, because he could have shot off his own pee-pee. But that would have been even more horrific.
Right.
You're out in the middle of nowhere, the dude shots off his penis. Oh my God, what are you going to do?
Right.
We're going to leave you here. We're sorry.
And what's Meghan Trainor going to do?
Nothing.
So obviously this movie kind of like centers around Justine, who's played by Lorenza Izzo. I personally think that she kind of carried the film. I think she did a phenomenal job. How do you think her performance holds up as a horror lead?
I mean, I actually enjoyed her as Final Girl because you saw the change in her throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
She basically goes from this sheltered, privileged young lady to this absolute survivor and sort of winning on her own terms.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed her performance as a lead character and as a final girl. Yeah. Of course, at the end, I was kind of like, no, I'll snitch. It's like, no, they were eating people.
Yeah.
They were eating my friends. Yeah. I don't give a shit at this point. Everyone is coming down. They're going to come down with me. Yeah. Because some of the students were actually pretty cool. And some of them like, you kind of deserve to be eaten. But, so she made that choice. It's like, no, they weren't cannibals. They, they saved me, yada, yada, yada. Bitch, they ate your friends. They try to mutilate your clitoris. And then, you're going to save them? No, you're better than me. I'm like, no, they cannibals. They cannibals. But, I understood why they're cannibals. They're surviving. They don't have meat out there. They're surviving. It happens. It's tradition. They saw us as enemies. And, they believe that they could gain our essence and power through eating our flesh.
Yeah.
So I understood there. That'd be me. I would justify it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Jonah was tall and big and strong. So that's why they ate him. Because he was tall, big, and strong. And it's made up reasons why they ate the other people.
Yeah. I think she did a fantastic job as a final girl. And to add on to like what you were saying, like, I don't know what I would have done, especially when it came to Homeboy, who left her to, basically left her to die a number of different times.
Oh, yeah.
Alejandro, he basically left her out to dry, so many times. And yet, like, there was like a moment you could tell there was one moment where she was like, should I be a good person and let them know that he's there and that he's alive? Or should I let should I do to him what he would have done to me? And she chose the latter. And I think that kind of makes her a unique and fun horror lead.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know, I don't care, because if he's still there, he's still there. I'm not going back. No,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Mm-mm.
Yep.
I'm leaving. We're leaving right now.
And I honestly think if it had been anybody else still there, she would have said, "Oh no, there's somebody else we need to pull from the village."
Oh yeah, if anybody else is still there, totally.
But him specifically, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fuck that. I'm like, nope.
But like I said, I think she kind of
could die.
Like I said, she can carry the film. She did phenomenal. She was a great lead. The film actually did ask its cast. Eli did say, "Hey, you guys got to go through a lot of like traumatic stuff. Like you have to get your yellow fever vaccination. You have to be willing to go into the jungle. You got to be willing to not have any like normal toilet bathroom situations, like all this kind of stuff." And I want to say the cast and the crew ended up having to go through like a parasite removal after filming. Do you think that added to the experience of this film? And then is there anybody who kind of stood out in terms of performance and who felt like they were just kind of like along for the ride when it came to this group of activists?
For me, it was like, okay, yeah, you're doing it. You're in your element now.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that you're going to be survivalists. Awesome. You're not going to let this jungle beat you. So I actually really appreciated that he told them, hey, you have to do things
Mm-hmm.
in this jungle. You're going to have to like poop and pee in the woods,
Yeah.
And it makes it even better that you're experiencing all this, because it makes you not worry about being naked in front of anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, I have to go pee. Let me go pee. Give me that knife. I'm gonna go pee. And I would have let poor Lars pee right next to me. I would have. I'm like, you know what? There's strength in numbers, because I don't know if I'm gonna be eaten by a tarantula or a sloth.
Yeah.
New sloths bite. I don't know. So, but we're gonna be peeing together. You have a penis. You could pee standing there. I have my back to you. You have my back. We're gonna be back to back.
Yeah.
We're gonna take each other's sixes. So I really appreciate that they were willing to get down and dirty for the whole, experience. For me, I would have to say like Daniel, the guy who played Daniel.
Yeah.
And Justine, they were generally cool peoples. All right. For me, it seemed like Lars was like going along with it, and the girl Amy, she was going along with it because her girlfriend was doing it.
Samantha.
Yeah, Samantha. I felt sorry for her, like literally sorry for poor Amy, because she's like, she doesn't have her own ideals.
Yeah.
She's just following this older
her girlfriend,
upperclassman.
Yeah,
her girlfriend. And I felt sorry for her. I was like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And then she did. And I was like, you're just along for the ride because your girlfriend's in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, you realize what's happening. You want to get off the ship, but you can't really get off the ship. You're now in here.
Exactly.
You're all up in the thick of things. All up in that. So, yeah, it seemed to me for like, Lars was on the ride, because at one point he was like, hey, do y'all have any weed? This is not what this whole trip is for, man. This is for protecting the forest and the peoples here.
Yep. Yeah, I think putting them through everything really did help the actors kind of get into, I don't want to say a like method acting kind of like state, but it did kind of put them in like okay, this is how I actually would act if I was in a situation like this. If you aren't a fan of spiders, all of a sudden, like looking down and seeing a giant ass tarantula mere centimeters from your dick will probably make you go, the fuck? And you're probably going to make some really poor choices after that.
Oh, yeah, like shooting off your penis.
Right.
But you also had a feel for them, because you're like, oh, man, they could get bitten by something and get disease. You better make sure those vaccinations are up to date.
Right.
And, poor Jonah's like, yeah, there's like, some amount of chance where you still get it. And I'm like, don't tell her that. Keep that information to yourself, son. Just keep it to yourself.
Right. Oh, that sweet angel child. I hated the fact that he was one of the first ones to go.
Right? I was like, even my niece was like, why are they killing him first? And I was like, well, that's usually
Mhm.
the destiny of a black person in a horror movie. We either die first, somewhere in the middle, or last.
Mhm.
Either way, we're gonna die. Unless you're Roger from Night of the Demons.
Yep. Yep. But I think it did add to the performance a little bit, and I think it did kind of I think it added for the characters. There were definitely characters I was like, okay, these individuals obviously did not spend as much time out in the wilderness as some of the other characters. Like Lorenza, obviously she was there the entire time because she was the main character. But it kind of sucks. Like you could tell like some of the other people, you could tell that they were only going to be there for a short time. They weren't planning on being there for a long time. So there wasn't as much of an embrace for what was going on around them. That I'm like, if I was in like the actual character in that, I would have been a little bit more like freaked out about certain things. The tribe itself was actually played by indigenous people in Peru. They are not a Peruvian cannibalistic headhunting tribe. They're actually a very friendly tribe, but they had never seen a movie. And Eli Roth actually showed them Cannibal Holocaust, and they thought it was hilarious. And that's what got them to agree to be in the movie. And they were in it in multiple different ways. But how do you feel like having that casting choice and having those ethics worked for this film?
I mean, in a way, how do I put this? They are in themselves performers.
Mhm.
I don't know if they truly knew what cannibalism was, or they knew it, but it was kind of like, oh, I don't think that actually really happens. But I actually really like the fact that they used natives, non-performers, or
Mhm.
they had a little bit of performing abilities.
Yeah.
I want to say the main elder, like I think she was like in 2 films previously. I'm not sure. I could be remembering wrong. But because they were
I will say this, the tribe that they used had never been filmed by Western people before.
by Western people. Okay, so because you're like they're using a native tribe that has never been influenced by Westerners. It gave it a little bit more authenticity. It gave it more realism
Mm-hmm.
because you don't see the Westernization put on them. You don't see that they are like thinking like the West or the modernized first world peoples. They were in their own element.
Yeah.
So they knew the forest. They knew because they improvised most of their stuff, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they did.
So they knew, what type of rituals to do and what type of rituals not to do. They knew how to act in their element. And I
Yeah.
like that because if you use, actors, it's kind of forced.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as authentic as it could be.
Mhm.
And the fact that they used a tribe that was willing to do it too. That's like, you know what, we'll do it.
Mhm.
We're gonna have fun with it.
Oh yeah.
And it was
Yeah, I mean, when they saw Cannibal Holocaust, they thought it was funny. Like they laughed at it. They're like, "Oh," which I'm like, "All right, that's an interesting take, but okay."
I mean, it is an interesting take because if you've never seen it, Cannibal Holocaust, and you're a native to like a region that's in the jungle,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny as shit. Because you're like, I lived in this jungle forever. I haven't seen people like this before.
Yeah, right.
I've seen what is this? Oh, this is your idea of what cannibalism is. Okay.
Yeah.
Or what cannibals are in the jungle. Okay. No, let's do it this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I actually really like that. And I have to say, like the main leader, the elder, she looks pretty without her, makeup and whatnot.
Right.
I think her name is like Antonietta or something like that. But I saw a picture of her. I'm like, damn, you look pretty without all your makeup.
Right. Yeah, Antonia Perry. Yeah, no, I mean the biggest complaint I think most people have when it comes to Cannibal Holocaust was that it was a prime example of the whole reason they made the movie to begin with. Like It was like a straight up like example of it. And the fact that Eli was like, I'm going to make a homage to this, but I'm not going to do it the same way. I'm going to actually do it ethically. I'm actually going to do it the right way. I give him massive props. Like there was no animal killing in this film.
No, there wasn't.
And it's one of the first, I want to say it's, if I remember correctly, I was reading fun facts about the film. I want to say this is one of the first cannibal movies that does not show any animal abuse.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they, like I said, they worked with a local tribe and, the way he treated the cast. And he saw how other films failed and learned from those mistakes and moved forward, but still giving the same fun that we wanted from those other films.
Yeah.
Like I know the biggest complaint Lisa had with Cannibal Holocaust and the reason why she chooses not to watch it is because of all the animal abuse in it. And like even watching the edited version, it still gives her the ick. Where this version actually never had to go back to re-editing.
Yeah.
It got submitted for its rating, got its R rating, and went on its merry way. They didn't have to go back and edit anything in or out, which I think that's kind of cool. So obviously, Eli is definitely a director who believes in practical effects. Sometimes his practical effects are not so realistic, but they're still cool. Like they're still kind of fun. The practical gore effects for a $5 million budget, he used his money wisely for this film.
Yeah, he did. He really did.
How do you think that kind of philosophy serves for this particular story? And did the practical effects land for you? And did they compare? How would you even compare them to some of today's more modern CGI heavy horror?
I mean, I prefer practical effects over CGI because over time you could tell what is CGI and what isn't. Like it degrades in film or something. Like this was made in 2013.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's now 2026. I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
The practical effects still held. Even my niece was impressed with it. She was like, "That has some good practical effects."
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming from a 12-year-old. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She was really impressed with the blood work, the skulls, everything. And I was really impressed with it too.
Yeah.
And it holds up. Unlike most, practical effects tends to hold up better than, CGI. And he used his money wisely in making those practical effects. Yeah, Jonah still spurting out blood when he's dead. That was kind of
Yeah. I feel like that's a
Even she was
typical
like,
Roth practical effect.
I know. She was like, I'm going to have to do research on this, Karen. I'm like, okay, you do your research. I'm just going to say that's not real. The human body doesn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But, there are some things in the movie I was kind of like, But that was like actually, the other main gripe with that was the whole weed scene. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, the practical effects were really amazing.
Yeah.
I actually liked the practical effects.
Yeah, no, the practical effects were great. I really do think that the Jonah scene was the only one that was a little off. I wouldn't say it was enough to take me out of the film and not want to continue watching. But at the same time,
it wasn't that,
as aficionados like ourselves, we can sit there and go, that's not real. But then at the same time, if somebody is not versed like we are in this, I could see them thinking like, holy crap, that's how that happens. Ooh, so I always appreciate the fact that he does the practical effects, because the practical effects are so timeless. In an age where we need timeless, he delivers on that.
Yeah.
Especially with only a $5 million budget. I mean, to get all those people down there, to pay the people what they needed to be paid, to do the practical effects, all the things with only $5 million, he did good.
He did good.
I know people who were not into gore would call this torture porn. I wouldn't. I feel like its gore was actually pretty tame. Like, I feel like it was just like very specific scenes that were gory.
Yeah.
But overall, it wasn't, I wouldn't say overall it was a very gory film.
No, it's like, the scene with Jonah, that was actually particularly gory.
Yeah.
Poor Jonah. God damn.
Right?
I really wanted him to live. Fuck. The scene with Lars, that was particularly gory, but it wasn't gratuitous.
Yeah.
And poor, oh my God,
Daniel.
Amy, Daniel, that was. I would have to say I was most affected by Amy because she was out of her element, and then she chose suicide after seeing her girlfriend's tattoos in the bowl, and then seeing around that her tattoos are used to decorate the kids and whatnot.
Yeah.
That had to be heart shattering.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, damn, girl. And I actually felt sorry for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, like most of the gore was actually mostly concentrated on men. And it's usually the short end of the stick, which I was kind of happy for. Like,
Yeah.
thank you, Eli, for switching it up. Let the men get all the brunt of it.
Yeah.
Poor Daniel, get bitten by all those ants.
Right.
I could understand why he said kill me. As a young child, I actually sat in an ant bed.
Ooh.
A fire ant bed at that. And if you never felt the millions of stinging of ants or bees or whatnot, I will not recommend it. Not recommend it.
It does not look like it's a good
That's how we
time.
figured it out to this day. No, that's how we figured out that I was allergic to red ant bites.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So my mom also has that same allergy. She's allergic to red ant bites. So we have to make sure if we're around ants, they're not red.
Yeah.
Because we will break out in hives. At least it's not severe enough where we have anaphylaxis, but it's bad enough where we just break out in straight hives. Not like, they leave little welts. After the welts, it's like hives. Oh, yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, I have to sit in like baths. I understand. Because most people are like, I don't understand why he wanted to die. It hurts.
Yeah.
Especially that type of ant they had on him. Woo!
Right.
Woo!
Obviously, with Jonah and Lars, there's the dismemberment, the cannibalism of it all. They're kind of like centerpieces for cannibal horror films. But were they effective? Do you think they were too much, too little, a little bit of both? How do you feel like specifically about them being like, hey, this is a cannibal horror movie. Here is like the centerpiece cannibal scene, specifically Jonah mostly.
I mean, with Jonah, it was kind of gratuitous for me because I was like, we really didn't have to be that graphic with him. Poor baby.
Right.
Poor teddy bear. He wanted Justine to like him, and he had a massive crush on her, and I was like, I know they wanted to emphasize the violence of what could happen and to shock not only the audience but the captives. Like this was what could happen to you, but still at the same time I would have waited until that drug took effect.
Right.
Like, no, you felt everything. And I was like, Jonah. Even my niece was like, no, not Jonah. Couldn't have been like the other dude, Alejandro.
Right.
Off the bat. It's like, it should have been Alejandro. I was like, damn.
No,
Yeah, it should have been sweetheart.
Good for her. She spots the red flags.
Yeah, she was like, it should have been him.
Should have been.
Alejandro's girlfriend was like running. She's like, oh, she's going to get shot in the neck. I bet she's going to get shot in the neck. She gets shot in the neck. She's like, ah. I was like, okay, stop predicting people's death. But yeah, we had a moment with Jonah's death. We were like, we had to stop for a second. We're like,
yeah.
But with Lars was kind of funny in a way.
Yeah.
Because they had the munchies, which I don't think that could happen. Because I know you stuffed the weed into her body, but
I don't think it would have happened the way that it happened.
Yeah. So me and her were like, she was like, does that really happen? And I don't think that happens like that, baby. And she was like, okay, let's continue watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we watched, and I was like, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was like, we were sitting there watching, and she was like, is this supposed to be the funny part? Oh, I was like, maybe.
I mean, it was funny. It was comedic.
Yeah. It's like, it was both tragic and yet comedic because he's like, oh my God, they have the munchies. Fuck. He's gonna get eaten. And then he gets eaten. We're like, oh.
But the fact that he kind of was like, well, that's that. Like to me, that I think that's what was the funniest part, where he was just like, "Oops."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for centerpiece, like genre specific centerpieces for the film, I think Jonah's was actually on par. I think it, especially since this is supposed to be a love letter to Italian cannibal horror, I think Jonah's was on par. Again, I don't think it would have naturally happened the way that he made it happen, but
Mhm.
I think overall that was a great centerpiece scene. And then Lars absolutely is Eli's sense of humor, his dark sense of humor coming out on screen, where he's just like, you get a cannibalistic tribe high, they get the munchies, they're gonna eat you. Like, I think it was funny.
Yeah.
I think it was absolutely hilarious.
I mean, for me, if I was a cannibalistic tribe, I'll probably like purge them first before I eat their flesh.
Yeah. We know that you are all about the purging.
I mean, you don't know what type of toxins, people have, or animals for that matter.
Like Amy, for example, who we all know was going through withdrawals.
Yeah, and she did purge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The setup is kind of brilliant in its irony. You do have a group of student activists travel to the Amazon to save a tribe, to then crash, get captured, and then eaten by that same very tribe. So how effective do you think Roth's lean into that dark satirical premise worked?
It's hilarious because they go out there. Well, the thing is, for the students, they didn't know
Yeah.
Alejandro was paid to be a PR stunt. They just knew that they were going out there to fight the good fight, only to be revealed that, oh, you son of a bitch, you sold us out for a PR stunt.
Yep.
And then poor Justine, because her dad's in the UN,
Mm-hmm.
they used her as bait.
Yep.
What if that went horribly wrong?
Right.
Horribly wrong.
Right. What if they had shot her?
And if they killed you guys because they didn't care,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't care. But it's very hilarious because you have Cannibal Holocaust had a group of filmmakers force or lie in their documentary,
Mm-hmm.
and now you have a group of students who lie, unbeknownst to many of them, about a situation.
Yeah.
So where's the irony in it?
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of both in the same coin, where both sides are lying.
Yeah.
So his homage to Cannibal Holocaust is the lying of the protesters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I do feel sorry for those who did not know.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like the majority of the people, I feel like it was like Daniel, Alejandro, Cara, and I think there was like two other people, maybe one other person who knew what the plan was. Carlos, yeah. Who like knew what was going to happen. But genuinely, all the other students didn't know. And I feel bad for Jonah because that he brought Justine on because he knew her dad was a UN person and was like, ooh, she can talk to her dad about this movement. If we get her on board, she might be able to influence her dad to do things to help.
His heart was in the place.
But as soon as he told stupid fucking Alejandro, he was like, oh, bet. Let's try to get her killed, But I do think the layout of this movie was brilliant. I do like the irony of these people going to save this tribe to only be consumed by that tribe.
Yeah, it's like, to do good, bad things happen to you.
I mean, this is part of, I mentioned it earlier, this is part of Eli Roth's Travel and Punishment series. They're movies that aren't related, but they all have the same thing. So you have Cabin Fever, Hostel, and then this was the conclusion of it, where you have people, they travel someplace with good or neutral intentions to then get completely fucked up. and the travel just won't go well. Yeah. Do you know how many people quit going to hostels just because of that one movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
When I saw it with my brother, I was like, I'm never going to a hostel. I've never been to a hostel. I'm not going. And he was like, valid.
Yeah. But I think I think he did a really good job capturing a lot of that and capturing the that sometimes going off and doing something without doing your due diligence is the reason that you fail and the reason you put yourself in a bad situation. The pacing of this film kind of splits into two very distinct acts. We obviously have like the whole New York setup. We have the jungle setup. How do you feel like those two halves of the film work together?
First, you have New York, which was kind of a slow build to what's going to happen, which I really liked. Well, I kind of hated the slow build, really. So I'm like, what's going to happen? Let it happen now. And then you got into the transition where they're going into the jungle, which was very indignant of what's going to happen because you know it was going to be straight chaos after they did what they were going to do. And it connects because, like I said, you have your slow build and then you have the transition, which is them traveling. And then you have the whole, oh shit moment. It's all going down. And without those halves, it would have been like a very boring movie. So I appreciated the whole slow build up, the transition, and then the fuckery that came about with it. He did a really good job with the pacing because you're going to have the brain talks of what the hell are we going to do in this whole jungle to, we have to set a plan. All right, we got a plan. Now we have to execute the plan. So we have to go to the area to execute the plan. And then got the plan done. And then now the plan has gone to shit. Because you thought you were going to go home and that didn't happen. Now we're all getting eaten by cannibals in the jungle. Yay.
Honestly, that was a great take. New York, even storytelling wise, matched its visual. It was very, here's all the things that we got to do. Here's how we're going to do them. You could tell that there was fakeness to people. You could, like, I don't know. I feel like they did a great job setting up everything in New York for the jungle side of it to be the downfall. I think they did a great job transitioning it to with the culture shock that everybody had in between once they got there. And the, wait, what do you mean we're not going to get this? What do you mean this isn't going to be available?
What do you mean they have guns?
Yeah, because I mean, these are student activists who are probably anti-gun, and
very sheltered,
extremely sheltered, who are now going, what is going on right now?
Yeah, like I looked at Jonah, I was like, you're a black man in a jungle. Stay your ass home. Use your black card right now. When he said there's going to be guns, I'm like, you know what? I'm out. Nope. I've seen this horror movie before.
Right.
Black people get killed first.
Peace out, guys. I'm taking the return flight now.
It's like, I'll be waiting here for you. If I don't hear from you in 3 days, I'm calling the police.
Yeah.
That'll be me.
But I won't lie. I truly do think that the pacing of each of the sides of the film matched what it was supposed to be. It matched the vibe that visually we had gotten that we've already talked about. But the storytelling and the pacing was right on par with all of that. Were there any characters you actually cared about? Or do you feel like most of them were kind of designed to be expendable?
I think all of them were designed to be expendable, especially when you saw a black man there. I was like, oh, you're going to die. I hate to say it, it's kind of like the black culture it's the culture of horror movies, really. I had to explain that to my niece. She was like, that sucks. I'm like, yeah, I know, it does suck. But they all had served their purposes. I mean, Lars was the junkie, and him and Daniel stuffed the little weed down Amy's throat, her dead corpse. And then he got, eaten by the people who had the munchies. Okay. You had Amy, who is so anxiety-filled.
The nervous Nellie.
Yeah, the nervous Nellie, who's a follower. And in the end, she kind of snaps because, her girlfriend was killed. Jonah was the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
And I kind of figured because he was the biggest of them. I was like, no, he's a lamb going to slaughter because he's the biggest.
Yeah.
Poor Daniel. He tried. He became a sacrificial lamb for Justine because he tried to save her. He tried to save them both. but you knew he was going to die anyways. Alejandro should have gotten killed too. Poor Samantha, she tried her best. She ran like a track. Well, she didn't really kind of run like a track star. Because if I was running like a track star, I'd be like Usain Bolt.
Right?
Like, you can't catch me, bitches. You knew she was going to die.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, like, she escaped. She was the first one to escape.
Mm-hmm.
You knew she was going to die.
Yeah.
At least her death was off screen.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, all of them had their purposes. I just wish that, Jonah was a little bit expendable. Jonah was a little bit, here for us.
Yeah.
Because, as a person of color, you want to see the Black people,
yeah,
survive just a little bit.
Yeah.
A smudging.
Exactly. He was the one character I kind of wish didn't get eaten. He was the one character I was like, oh, please don't. No. Did you?
That's a teddy bear.
I know you had to kill him, but like, couldn't he have been the one that got out with Justine? Like, come on.
Right?
Like, or like he got like food poisoning and wasn't able to actually do the thing. Like, I wish he would not have been killed. But I get why he had to die. But still, it kind of sucked. But I feel like the majority of the characters were definitely built to be expendable. None of them were really likable. A lot of them were, I would say, the worst stereotype of their stereotype.
Yeah.
Like Samantha. She was the feminist activist, but she was rude and she was mean and she wasn't very welcoming. So you as an audience member, especially since you're obviously Team Justine, we're kind of like, well, fuck you. Like, what makes you so great?
Okay, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about Alejandro's girlfriend or Samantha the lesbian?
The lesbian.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't welcoming to Justine.
I was like, some of the females weren't really welcoming to Justine, really.
Nobody was really welcoming to Justine, except for Jonah and Lars.
Yeah. Especially Jonah, because, he sought her out and,
Yeah.
And you could tell he had a crush on her. And I was like, oh.
But I also think that he just genuinely wanted people to join his cause.
Yeah, that too.
Like, I think he was the one person who I think genuinely wanted to do the right thing and really wanted to help and thought that this was the only way to be able to do it. But yeah, I think he was the only one who I was like, I would have liked him to survive.
Crazy thought? I thought Justine's dad was like the lawyer for the company.
That would have actually been a cool twist.
Yeah.
How did the ending land for you?
I mean, I enjoyed the ending because, I actually like the fact that she left Alejandro there. She survived. And then we had that little snippet at the end with Alejandro's sister saying that there was satellite images of her brother. And I was like, fuck,
right?
That bastard didn't die. I thought that was kind of completely unnecessary because I was like, I don't want a part 2. This was perfect as it is.
Yeah.
Because he kind of did leave it open, like with that to have a part 2 or
there
something.
There was supposed to be.
But I'm like, no, this is perfect as it is. We don't need a part 2 because fuck Alejandro. He could stay there and get eaten or become part of the tribe. I don't care. Leave his ass there.
Right.
Because all the things he did, he deserved it. He deserved that karma.
Oh, yeah.
Especially him masturbating in the cage. I was like, you serious, my boy?
Right.
You serious right now? That's disgusting. Mm-hmm. Even my niece was like, why is he doing that? Even though he explained it, she was like, that's still disgusting. You could do something else.
It still didn't make sense.
It didn't. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't make sense, sweetie. Like, me and her talked about it. She was like, it does not make sense. It really doesn't. It's like, why did you include that in there? I was like, I don't know why he included it. Okay. That was just, does not make sense. I think it made his character even more hateable.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can make this person more hateable than what he is. I mean, come on. He used Justine as bait.
Yeah.
He gave her a role, quote unquote. And then he was kind of blasé about Jonah getting killed because he's like, well, at least he could feed them for a week and they'll be off our backs. What?
Yeah.
Sir.
Exactly.
And he kind of figured or knew what this tribe was capable of, and he didn't even say anything. And he was going to let, Justine get mutilated down there. And I was like, you got to be fucking, you know what? He could die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We were me and my niece were rooting for his death.
Multiple times I was like, tribe, kill this dude. Get this guy. Get the asshole. Right here. But I mean, I don't know. There was
Tom
supposed
went to his cage. I was like, yeah, get him. No,
there was
didn't make it.
supposed to be a sequel, and it was titled Beyond the Green Inferno, and it was supposed to be directed by Roth's Uruguay collaborator Guillermo Amendo. I'm probably was pronouncing his last name wrong. Sorry.
I've been butchering everybody's name. Don't worry.
And he's worked with him a couple of times before. But yeah, there was going to be a sequel to it, and I was like, I don't think we really needed one.
No, it was perfect as it is. You didn't have to put that little snippet in. You could actually go ahead and go back there and just take it out.
Yep.
You know,
I mean, I actually don't mind the ending, and I don't mind that there's the supposedly we've seen him. Like, I don't think you did.
Are you sure it's him and not a native?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think you did. But no, I liked how this ended, and I like, especially in comparison to Cannibal Holocaust. I really do like how this ended.
Oh, thank God.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is such a much better ending. Yeah, I totally love this one way more. The film, and we kind of touched on it earlier, does kind of talk about performative activism or slacktivism, as some people are calling it. People who want to be seen doing good things, but aren't actually willing to do the good things. How sharp is that social commentary for you?
I mean, in a way, it is kind of like, every generation will have their activism and their slacktivism.
Mm-hmm.
And this one shows that, Justine wanted to be an activist, but in a way she was kind of a slacktivist until she was presented with something that made her determined
Mm-hmm.
and that turned her into an activist.
Yeah.
And it was always that little turning point that turns you from a slacktivist to an activist. And then you get questioned, a lot by people. Like her roommate, Casey, questioned her, like, you really want to do this for your activism, or do you want to do this because you want to get laid?
Yeah.
By Alejandro. But, in the end, you see that she wants to do something because,
Mm-hmm.
she wants to use her white girl privilege to make change, which I see no problem with that because as a person of color, and my brother is married to a white woman, she uses her white card all the time to make, sure changes happen. Because she knows she's the mother of 2 children who are also considered people of color.
Yeah.
So she will use her whiteness to be an activist.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't sit around. She's like, oh no.
Yeah.
So I in a way, her going from a slacktivist to an activist is really telling because she saw a pivotal point in her life to become, an activist. So a lot of people are slacktivists. They kind of do, yeah, we'll do this. We'll cheer you on, but they sit back and do nothing. Where she becomes, well, my daddy could do this. My daddy could do that. Yeah. But your dad's he's not doing it. Just because you could advocate for him to do it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. I think there's always going to be somebody who talks the talk and then doesn't have the action to follow.
But won't walk the walk.
Yeah. That won't walk the walk. And I think that's kind of what Casey, Justine's roommate, was hinting at was, hey, like, good for them that they're having this hunger strike. But what is that hunger strike actually doing? Jack shit. Because they're not actually doing anything about it. So what if you're getting more and more people to know about it, but if you're not actively doing anything while telling people about it, it doesn't mean anything. And to have Justine go, you know what, you're right, let me do something instead of just saying something, or even judging those who are at least doing the hunger strike portion of it. Let me get in there and actually do something. And I feel like that critique is quite valid. I mean, look at, all the things that we've gone through in the past few years of what people are protesting, or, do you have, this banner on your profile photo? Did you make this post on this day? Did you, there's a lot of things to show that you're on the right side, but the action isn't really there. to correct
Yeah.
what people,
Yeah.
yeah,
because you do have those people, like you said, in the last few years. Like, oh, did you like mark out your profile picture black? Did you do this? Did you do
Mhm.
that?
yeah.
Okay, but are you out on the streets protesting? Are you rubber bullets shot at you? Are you doing this, that, and the other? There's a
Not
difference.
and not even going out protesting. Are you making the changes that need to be changed in order to be effective? Because if you're putting in, I'm sorry, I'm gonna kind of step on my slightly political soapbox. So sorry guys, I know we try to stay non-political on here, but I'm gonna say this. If you go on and you sit there and you rant and rave about how certain groups are being treated, but you turn around and you vote into office individuals who have been in office for the past 30 to 40 years, who have not made change in those past 30 to 40 years, and who have actively voted against what you want to have changed, why are you still voting them into power?
Yeah.
To me, that is the easiest fucking way for you to fix a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Alejandro was that problem, really, because most of the stuff that he did was for PR. If you think about it, like, oh yeah, we're doing a hunger strike.
Yep.
What is that going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to a lawyer saying, hey, we need help. They're not giving health insurance to the janitors, and the janitors have been working here for X amount of years, and some of them are full time, but they're not getting any health benefits. Can you help me with, solve this problem?
Yeah.
That's doing something.
Exactly.
Using your, cell phones and shit to live stream.
Yeah.
It only delayed the thing for like a couple of days.
Exactly.
He even said it. Yeah, only delayed for like 2-3 days. It was all a PR stunt. We just got another corporation to come in.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Exactly.
That's why I was hoping every time they went into that cage, I was like, I want you to die. Get him out. No, damn. Wrong person. Wrong person.
Well, and you even saw that at the end of the film, how that group of activists at the school were, even though they had a different leader, were still worshiping and doing the same things that Alejandro was teaching them. So it was like, yeah, you got rid of the guy, but you didn't get rid of the problem.
No, you didn't.
Much like many of the cannibal films, there is the fascinating psychology tension between who are the real savages, the cannibals, or in this case, the activists, whose actions caused the whole catastrophe. How does that moral shift or ambiguity work for you when it comes to the storytelling?
Okay, so the natives are going to be natives because they only know who they are, where they live, and whatnot. So morally speaking, they're going to do what they're going to do. If that means eating human flesh of their enemy.
Yeah.
So morally, I'm like, that's their culture. They're not doing it for fun. So I can't really say that's immoral, that you can't do that, because they don't have our same culture.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't see everything through Western eyes. They see everything through their eyes because they were raised, they were born and raised in their culture.
Yeah.
So for me, they're not really savages because that's all they know.
Yeah.
Now, for the students, for the protesters, they have, they believe that what they were doing was right.
Yeah.
Trying to save them and then save the land that they're on.
Yeah.
So when the two clashes, as somebody who's watching, you're going to believe that morally the students were right and the cannibals are wrong. Morally, they're both right because they're both, living their lives.
Yeah.
Except for Alejandro. The kids wanted to change the dynamic. Okay, they wanted real change. They were going out there being activists, chaining themselves to the trees, trying to save these people who they don't even know. They don't know the culture. They don't know who they are. They're just doing it because they saw a problem, and the problem is mass genocide and the raping of land. So morally speaking, they're doing right. Morally speaking, the cannibals were right too, because they saw them as enemies in their territory. And what do you do with enemies? You kill them and you eat them, either for food sources or to gain whatever ability they have.
Yeah.
So it makes a hard decision. Psychologically, it makes it a hard decision to root for one or the other side. But as someone who lives in the Western hemisphere and with the Western gaze, I wanted some of the activists to survive, and I wanted some of the natives to survive.
Yeah.
Like the little girl who was helping Justine, I wanted her to survive. I don't know what happened to her, but in my mind of minds, in my hearts of hearts, I believe she wasn't killed. I believe she's living happily with Justine's little silver flute.
Yeah.
And remembering that little white lady that, she saved, that took time to talk to her in a way through music. So in my heart of hearts, I hope she survived. And in my heart of heart, I Justine believe she did right by protecting the tribe because she was trying to protect that little girl and she was trying to make social change.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to see who was in the right and who was in the wrong.
Yeah. No, I think in this case, I think morale is relative. You have the activists who are of a modern mindset, are of a modern technological standing on what is humane, what is moral, what is good, in comparison to this tribe that has its own laws, its own, customs and things like that. And what would be considered moral and or good in that tribe is not going to be the same as somebody from a more like technologically advanced or more modern society. But you can see how kindness still transferred between the two different cultural and moral standings. Justine and that little kid were a prime example.
Oh, yeah.
She was kind to the child, despite knowing the fact that the child was probably going to help kill her at some point. So she sat there and she was like, let me be kind, to possibly not die. But at the same time, what's it going to hurt to be kind?
Yeah.
And the child did the same thing. The child was like, oh, you were kind to me. I'll be kind to you. I'll help you get out. Go that way. I think no matter what your cultural background is or what your moral standing is, there is like almost a universal kindness that we all seem to understand. And I think that's kind of cool that with this film you could kind of see that. Obviously, cannibalism is a subgenre of horror, and it's kind of always existed in that like weird, complicated ethical space. How does the Green Inferno, or does the Green Inferno really do anything to evolve that conversation? Or is it a way of just maintaining the tradition for you?
Oh, it really kind of fits in the whole subgenre. It doesn't take away, it doesn't add anything. It's just a subgenre that we could like go back and watch. There's not that many, I haven't seen that many newer cannibalism movies lately that kind of pegged my interest. That doesn't really that made me think about it a whole lot. Green Inferno makes me think. It makes me think about what if, And most cannibal movies don't make me think about what if.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying. This one makes me think about what if? What if this happens? What if that happens? I think it's because of the activist part of it. Even with the cannibal Holocaust, it also made me kind of think of, but what if they did find their bodies?
Yeah.
What if they did air the whole reel?
Yeah.
What if they did this and did this and did this? And, that would cause like questioning a lot of things, a lot of news, really.
Yeah.
And so, and in a way, that's what Green Inferno does. Green Inferno does for me. It makes me question about, does all activists, political activists, activism, are they all PR stunts? Or are all of them, paid actors? What if, what if everything I see is a lie?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in a way, yeah, it fits the subgenre. Green Inferno fits the subgenre. And does it help it? Does it hinder it? No, it's just one of those movies that make you think.
Yeah. I think it's a great modern continuation of what, late 70s, early 80s Italian cannibal films kind of did. I mean, there was a lot of controversy. There was a lot of conversations that had never really truly been had. And I think Green Inferno continues that. And I feel like filmmakers should watch it and see how you can make a cannibal film that tells a good story and like actually can like make a great conversation. I just don't think that people take it as that. I think a lot of people are just like, it's just a love letter to this other film, and I don't think they take it seriously in what it itself says about our modern filmmaking styles, or even our being able to do cannibalism ethically, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, can't really do cannibalism ethically. I mean, maybe.
I mean, we joked about it forever ago about the efficacy of cannibalism and doing a whole episode on it. Okay, so I've mentioned it a few different times. This is obviously a love letter to Cannibal Holocaust, a little bit of Cannibal Ferox. I think that's how you pronounce it. Obviously, we've talked about Cannibal Holocaust on the podcast. How would you compare these two films?
I mean, one is a modernization of the other. They both talk about ethics one talks about the ethics of activism. The other one talks about the ethics of reporting in documentary styles. They are of the same coin, of the same cloth. Yeah, like people like to say it's an homage. Yeah, it is an homage. But in the end of the day, they talk about social influences of the modern society.
Yeah.
Will I ever watch Cannibal Holocaust again? No. No. Will I watch Green Inferno? Yes.
Yeah.
I will watch Green Inferno. One of the reasons why is because, there's no animal cruelty in there.
Yep.
Also, the director was a very bad man.
Thankfully, he did regret his choices later on in life.
Yeah. But he still was a very bad man.
Yeah. Not saying he wasn't. I'm just saying I'm glad that he learned his lesson.
Yeah, he did learn his lesson. So, yeah, both of them are, social commentaries on society. I would watch Green Inferno again because I probably discover things that I missed.
Yeah.
Discover plots that I missed.
Mm-hmm.
So both have their places in time and society.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd rather watch Green Inferno, study it, than anything else. And I'm sorry for people who like Cannibal Holocaust. I'm sorry. I don't like it. If you like it, that's you.
And that's
do
fair.
you, boo? Do you?
And that's absolutely valid and fair. I think at the heart of both films, the story is great, as in what they were what message they were trying to get across. I think it works. I do think the execution of Green Inferno was better than Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, by far.
But I'm going to say this. I truly do think and believe that Cannibal Holocaust, and I would even say partner it with Green Inferno, should be studied by journalism or by journalists, by filmmakers. I think they all need to study both of these films, study the differences between them, and understand why being ethical and how they do their journalism, how they do their filmmaking is critical. I know I said it when we did the Cannibal Holocaust, that I was like, no, I think if you're going to be a journalist, you need to watch this film. You want to do documentaries, you need to watch this film. You need to study it. You need to know why it is so important to have integrity in what you're reporting. I think The Green Inferno is a great follow-up. I think it's a great follow-up. Be like, see, you can do it the right way. There's no reason for you not to be able to do it the right way. With that being the case, though, it is that time. We're going to wrap it up. So final thoughts. And what's your skull rating? If you are new, this is your first episode with us, we do skull ratings. We do 1 through 5. 1 because they tried. 5 because it's just that fucking fantastic. So, Karen, where does this film sit for you? And what are your final thoughts?
I enjoy it because of the fact that the practical effects are really good. You don't get really good practical effects nowadays.
Yeah.
And Eli, he's really, really good at his craft. Side note, I liked how all the actors knew each other and acted in different movies with each other.
Yeah,
That's
for
kind of
sure.
cool. I would have to give it a 4. 4 skulls.
Yeah.
It's not really a perfect movie, but it is a good movie.
Yeah. I would put this at a 4.5, maybe 4 if I'm being a little critical, but I would put it at like a 4.5. I really enjoyed it. It was a good, fun movie to watch. Other than how Jonah died, like outside of that, I feel for the most part, it was pretty spot on. It was pretty good. I liked how they did things. Were there some comedic bits to it? Yeah, but we like comedy and horror here. But overall, this was a really good film. It was fun to watch. And I truly do think this is one of Eli's best. You know, for him to sit there and say, hey, this was like my mic drop one, I can understand that. I can feel that for him. So, our fellow horrorholics, thank you so much for venturing deep into the jungle with us tonight. Green Inferno reminds us that sometimes the scariest things in the world isn't what's lurking in the dark. It's the consequences of our own good intentions. As always, we have the best listeners in the world. Honestly, we are so grateful for each and every single one of you guys. We cannot express how much we love and appreciate each and every single one of you. You all are the best horrorholics ever. But Karen, where can they find you?
They can find me in several locations: Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, formerly known as Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit.
Groovy. I am Spill Tea. You can find me on all the things at Spill Tea Wine Media Mind. And could you survive the Green Inferno? Don't forget to subscribe, rate, follow, and rate and share. It actually helps other horrorholics find us. We want to hear from you, though. So go ahead, drop in the comments, slide into our DMs, or email us at earthstationboo@gmail.com. Come join our conversation in our Discord, and you can find all of our links in our link tree, which is linktree/earthstationboo. Don't sleep on our merch store because our merch is hella awesome. And we have a new episode every Tuesday. Movie nights we're trying to do on Sundays at 8 p.m. So if you want to see a movie with us, go into our Discord and let us know which bad boy you would like to watch. And we might play it on Sunday. So stay weird, stay spooky, our fellow horrorholics. That's a wrap for Earth Station Boo. Thanks for listening. Follow, share, and find all our links in our link tree. Until next time, stay spooky.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.